I struck the match with one hand. The candle stuttered to life, its flame trembling in the hush of the room. Only the soft hum of the refrigerator and the relentless tick of the wall clock. Dared to speak. 45. Alone. The phone buzzed again. Another call numbered 190 now. I didn't answer a single one. Instead, I poured myself a drink. The clink of ice against glass was a brittle kind of music. Scotch. Neat. A solitary toast to what it meant to be forgotten. But I wasn't forgotten. Not really. 2 months ago, they'd begun whispering. My wife, my mother, my father, all speaking in riddles wrapped in grins. There's a surprise coming, they'd say. Their voices light but loaded. Too many sideways glances passed between. Then when I walked into a room, just wait till your birthday, my wife had murmured once, laughter curling around the words like smoke. Her fingers gripped her phone like it held state secrets. She giggled as she turned away, afraid I might glimpse something I wasn't meant to see. I waited, patient, expectant. But the morning of my birthday arrived like a bad punchline. The house was hollow. No footsteps, no voices, no messages, no calls. Only silence, and that was worse. At 9:04 a.m., I found it. An envelope, taped to the refrigerator door. On it, 2 words, "Play me," inside, a flash drive. I slid it into my laptop, knowing instinctively that nothing good would follow. The video opened with clinking champagne flutes. The Eiffel Tower sparkled behind them. My wife stood there, radiant in the red coat I'd gifted her last Christmas. Beside her, my parents laughing. Her voice was easy, careless. He won't be hurt by this. Laughter followed. My mother nodded as if confirming a truth. He's always been independent. I paused the video not from anger, but from calculation. You don't react when you're being assessed. You watch, you listen, and then you plan. My marriage hadn't collapsed suddenly. It had wilted slowly, leaning under the weight of something I couldn't quite name. I had blamed time, routine, myself. But that video clarified everything. This wasn't passive neglect. This had been orchestrated. 2 weeks before, my wife had begun moving money out of our joint account. My mother had called my boss to explain I was dealing with a health concern. My father signed the papers terminating my car lease. It was clean, coordinated, ruthless. They hadn't abandoned me. They had erased me. I didn't call. I didn't plead or demand an explanation. I checked into a suite at the Vale, rooftop bar, infinity pool, sunset views curated for social envy. Then I placed one call to someone I hadn't seen in over 15 years. Her name was Myra. Divorced now, still radiant, still sharper than any blade in my drawer. She had always been the kind of woman my wife envied, and for good reason. We took a photo by the water's edge, my arms snug around her waist, her head resting lightly on my shoulder, a champagne flute in each hand. Behind us, the Paris skyline glimmered across an LED screen. The caption I posted read, surprised in the best way, "New memories with old flames." It lit a fire in my little corner of the world. Then the calls started. My wife, my mother, the entire sanctimonious pack. I didn't answer any of them. Instead, I opened the vault. 3 years ago, my father had begged me to set up a tax strategy for him. Offshore accounts, blind trusts. He never understood the platforms, but I did, and I kept the passwords. My mother would hand me blank checks to handle estate paperwork. I kept digital copies of every receipt. As for my wife, she'd had an affair with a Swiss banker. Ironically, I had hired that very same man to manage our investment portfolio. He owed me more than he realized. The paper trail was vast, but it was intact and in my hands. 3 weeks after my birthday, I submitted the reports anonymously. Tax fraud, hidden assets, donation laundering. 3 separate agencies received detailed copies. Then I waited. The fallout began 6 weeks later. My father's company accounts were frozen. The feds came knocking. His name splashed across the front page of our local paper. Audit imminent. My mother's charitable foundation was next, suspected of misappropriating donor funds. Shut down, investigated, tarnished. And then came the final act. I sent my wife a package. No words, no drama, just a single photograph. Mira's fingers interlaced with mine, on the table beside us. A sleek black envelope. Inside it, divorce papers. Already signed by me. Already filed. Backed by a prenuptial agreement she'd never read. She'd trusted me to handle the boring stuff. The prenup she'd assumed would save her was legally superseded. The account she'd drained, replenished from hers. The house she thought she owned, I'd transferred it to my name in April. She hadn't seen it coming, that's the thing. About arrogant sit blinds, she called again today, twice, left voicemails, voice trembling. I didn't mean to hurt you, you don't understand. I was lost. No, darling, you weren't lost. You were certain, cocky, now you're just desperate. I leaned back in my chair, watching the late sun bleed golden through the slats of the blinds. My phone buzzed, 290 calls, all unanswered. I wasn't vindictive. I was deliberate. I didn't scream or shout. I simply rewrote the story. The last message she sent was a picture her, alone, in a hotel room. No makeup, no filters, tears streaming. Below it, one final line. Please just talk to me. I saved the image, then deleted the thread. Revenge doesn't wail. It doesn't throw glasses or slam doors. It doesn't beg. It doesn't explain. It restores balance. She thought I'd unravel. They all did. But not every man breaks. Some men become razors. And once the blade is honed, it never misses its mark. They thought they could vanish without consequence. But ghosts don't forgive. Ghosts wait. And when the silence gets loud enough, they strike.